go to either one of you, but what's the problem with private pot stores in your view? You both object to them.
Which we're taking. Yeah, of course.
May I just say in response to that, we are entering into uncharted territory here. And I think there's a lot of people out there that support the direction that the Government of Canada is going in the context of taking this out of the criminal law, and for a whole bunch of different reasons. But I, for one, given the degree of concern that's been expressed to me by many parents, for example, just about the fact it's uncharted territory, I'm very comfortable with the direction in which the Government of Ontario is going with this, which says that at the outset there's going to be it's going to be overseen by the government, and they're going to do it in a kind of a staged sort of way. And I think most people out there are comfortable with that, because there are people who are anxious about this. They're not opposed, but they're anxious and they're concerned for their children. And when I hear the Premier talk, as I do, about the fundamental number one concern here being safety of children in particular, I'm comfortable that the government, in being the ones who roll this out, as it were, in this uncharted territory, will do it in a way that is mindful of that number one concern, and frankly not about making money. No. This is not about making money. The amounts of money that will be made here, especially when you hear that we want to get rid of the black market and it has to be priced appropriately, are grossly exaggerated by people who talk about that. And I'm looking forward to getting some money that may not even come from this to help us with the enforcement, but I'm not assuming this is going to be some big opportunity for people to make money. In fact, I'd be more worried at this stage of the game, when we're trying to be so careful, if there were people who were really motivated to make a lot of money, because that might call into question the ultimate objective, which is to keep kids and families and neighborhoods and retail strips safe and stable.
Tory, are you hopeful that once this legislation is tabled and then passed, that it'll clarify things so that police will actually close down the illegal weed shops that are operating in the state? I know you've been outspoken about the need for a crackdown. The Premier's been outspoken, and yet they keep popping up and reopening. Are you worried, though, that they'll still be around through July 1st, 2018? Or do you think that this new law will clarify and codify things?
Efforts are being made through this law, through court cases that are making their way through the courts to which the governments, federal and provincial, are parties, and on a number of other fronts to clarify that and to make sure that we have the tools, as it were, by way of clarified laws to go out and enforce those. But make no mistake, this is all about the rule of law. I mean, it sounds like a very high-minded sort of thing to talk about that, but that's what this is about. In the end, I mean, we have laws that say certain things are legal and certain things aren't for a reason. And in this case, these shops, to the best of my knowledge, are illegal, have always been illegal, will continue to be illegal, and are not contemplated as being part of the regime going forward. And so I would hope we will have the tools. And this is not about ideology. It's simply about saying, again, we want to be able to keep children and families and neighborhoods and schools and retail strips safe and stable, and that we need to be able to do that so it isn't kind of a Wild West environment where people can just go out and set up any kind of a shop they want. I don't think anybody really supports that, except perhaps the people that are operating the shops.